Welcome to the magical world of Peter, Pepper, and Saphire, The Evil Dragon Adventure, Book 1. A tale of courage, friendship, and the power of belief, written by Mr. A.D., journey to a land where dragons soar, forests glow with ancient magic, and danger lurks in every shadow. Meet Peter, a brave and curious boy, Pepper, a wise and magical rabbit with fur that shimmers like starlight, and Saphire, a powerful dragon who holds the key to their greatest challenge yet. Together they must face an evil unlike any they've encountered before, an adventure that will test their strength, their wits, and their hearts. Prepare to be whisked away into a story filled with wonder, peril, and the unbreakable bonds of friendship. Now sit back, relax, and let the adventure begin. Peter, Pepper, and Saphire, The Evil Dragon Adventure Book. 1. Chapter 1. The Mysterious Message. Introduction to Willow Brook. The village of Willow Brook was a quiet and peaceful place nestled in a lush valley, surrounded by rolling hills and dense forests. It was a village where everyone knew each other, and life moved at a gentle pace. The houses were built from sturdy wood, with thatched roofs and colorful flower boxes under the windows. Cobblestone paths wound through the village, connecting homes to shops, the school, and the village square, where a grand oak tree stood tall, its branches providing shade for gatherings and market days. Peter, a 12-year-old boy with a mop of curly black hair and bright green eyes, lived in a cozy cottage on the edge of the village with his mother, Lisa. Peter was known for his curiosity and adventurous spirit. 2 years had passed since his last adventure with his sister, Josie, and their magical friend, Pepper the Rabbit, from the Guardians of Harmony. One crisp morning, as the sun cast a golden glow over Willow Brook, Peter was preparing for his usual day of chores and school. He was in the backyard, tending to the vegetable garden, when he noticed something peculiar. A glimmering object was partially buried in the dirt near the garden's edge. Intrigued, he put down his watering can and knelt to examine it. "Mom, come here, look at this," Peter called out. Lisa hurried over. "What is it, Peter?" Peter brushed away the dirt to reveal a small, intricately carved box. It was made of a dark, polished wood and adorned with symbols that Peter didn't recognize. He carefully lifted the box and opened it. Inside was a parchment scroll, tied with a silver ribbon. Peter untied the ribbon and unrolled the scroll. The parchment was old and slightly brittle, but the writing was clear. It was a message written in elegant, flowing script. "To the one who finds this, beware the dark dragon Saphire of Evil Mountain. Seek the magic rabbit in the enchanted forest. He holds the key to your destiny." Peter's heart raced as he read the message. The dark dragon of Evil Mountain and a magic rabbit, he murmured. Just then, a rustling noise came from the edge of the garden. Peter turned to see a small rabbit hopping towards him. But this was no ordinary rabbit. It had shimmering fur that seemed to change colors in the sunlight, and large, intelligent eyes that sparkled with mischief. "Hello, Peter," the rabbit said, much to Peter's astonishment. Peter blinked. "Pepper? Is that really you?" The rabbit nodded. "Yes, indeed." Peter's jaw dropped. "Why have you been waiting for me?" Pepper hopped closer. "Because you are destined to stop the dark dragon, Saphire, from unleashing her wrath upon the world. You must come with me to the enchanted forest. There, we will find the clues needed to defeat her." Peter felt a mix of excitement and fear. "But why me?" Pepper looked at him seriously. "Because you possess the courage and heart of a true adventurer. Because your father was the last to face Saphire. His legacy now falls to you." Peter took a deep breath. He had always dreamed of adventure, but this was far beyond anything he had imagined. Peter nodded, determination setting in. "All right, Pepper, I'll go with you, but I need to prepare first." He hurried back to the cottage to gather supplies. Lisa, busy with her own chores, noticed the serious expression on his face. "What's going on, Peter?" Peter explained everything to his mother, showing her the scroll, and introducing Pepper. Lisa listened intently, her expression turning from confusion to concern. "Are you sure about this?" she asked, kneeling in front of him. "It sounds very dangerous." Peter nodded. "I have to, Mom. If Dad tried to stop Saphire, then we owe it to him to finish what he started." Lisa sighed, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "I always knew this day might come. Your father often spoke of the dangers he faced and the legacy he hoped to leave behind. I just hoped you wouldn't have to follow in his footsteps so soon." She hugged him tightly. "Promise me you'll be careful and come back to me." "I promise," Peter said. With his mother's blessing, Peter packed essential supplies: food, water, a map of the region, and his father's old compass. He also took a sturdy walking stick. As Peter left the cottage, the sun was high in the sky, casting long shadows over the village. The villagers waved him off, curious about his sudden departure, but unaware of the true nature of his quest. At the edge of the village they found Broomstick, a sleek and speedy horse, known for his incredible speed and endurance. Peter patted Broomstick's neck. "We're going on an adventure, buddy. Ready to run like the wind?" Broomstick neighed in response, pawing at the ground eagerly. With Pepper leading the way, they set off towards the enchanted forest. The journey was filled with anticipation and a hint of fear. The path to the forest was lined with tall trees whose leaves whispered secrets in the breeze. Birds chirped melodiously, and the scent of wildflowers filled the air. As they approached the forest, the atmosphere changed. The trees grew taller and denser, their branches intertwining to form a canopy that blocked out much of the sunlight. The air became cooler, and an eerie silence fell over them. Peter glanced at Pepper. "What can we expect in the forest?" Pepper twitched his nose. "The enchanted forest is filled with magical creatures and hidden dangers, but it also holds the secrets we need to defeat Saphire. Stay close and trust in the magic." The deeper they ventured into the forest, the more mysterious it became. Strange glowing plants lit their path, and the rustle of unseen creatures kept them on edge. Suddenly, a dark shape swooped down from the trees, landing in their path. It was Athena, the dark owl, with piercing yellow eyes and feathers as black as night. "Who dares enter my forest?" Athena demanded, her voice echoing through the trees. Peter stepped forward, trying to appear brave. "We mean no harm. We're here to stop the dark dragon Saphire." Athena narrowed her eyes. "Many have tried and failed. What makes you think you can succeed?" Pepper hopped forward. "Because they have me, and because they possess the courage of their father, who once stood against Saphire." Athena seemed to consider this. "Very well, but first you must prove yourselves worthy. Solve this riddle, or turn back." She recited the riddle. "I speak without a mouth, and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Peter and Pepper exchanged puzzled looks. Peter thought hard. "A sound, no, an echo," he exclaimed. Athena nodded, her eyes gleaming with approval. "Correct. You may pass, but beware. The forest will test you at every turn." With Athena's warning in mind, they continued their journey, more determined than ever to succeed. Chapter 2. Deep into the forest. Peter and Pepper ventured deeper into the enchanted forest. the air growing cooler and the light dimmer as the canopy overhead thickened. Strange, bioluminescent plants and fungi began to light their path with an eerie glow, casting dancing shadows that made it hard to tell what was real and what was illusion. Peter marveled at the beauty and strangeness of the forest. "This place is incredible," he whispered to Pepper. "Yes, but also dangerous," Pepper replied, his nose twitching. "Stay alert. The forest is full of creatures, both friendly and hostile." As they walked, they heard a slow, drawn-out voice coming from the underbrush. "Ooh, goes the ear." Peter looked down to see a snail with an intricately patterned shell slowly making its way towards them. "Hello there. I'm Peter, and this is Pepper. We're on a quest to stop the dark dragon Saphire." The snail, Pebble, blinked slowly. "Ah, yes, the dragon. Be careful, young one. The forest is full of riddleses and traps." Pepper nodded. "Thank you, Pebble. Do you have any advice for us?" Pebble considered this for a moment. "Trust in your heart and be patient. All will be revealed in time." With those slow-spoken words of wisdom, Pebble continued on his leisurely way, leaving Peter and Pepper to press forward. The path twisted and turned through the dense undergrowth, leading them to a clearing where a gigantic mushroom stood. Its cap was a vibrant orange with white spots, and its stalk was thick and sturdy. As Peter and Pepper approached, the mushroom swayed slightly, its spores drifting lazily through the air. "Welcome, travelers," the mushroom said in a dreamy sing-song voice. "I am Pixie, and I speak in riddles, for truth is often hidden in the most curious of places." Peter looked up at the towering mushroom. "We seek guidance to defeat the dark dragon Saphire. Can you help us?" Pixie chuckled softly. "Ah, the dragon of the mountain, fierce and dark. To find your way, you must first unravel the secrets of the forest. Answer me this. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Peter furrowed his brow, thinking hard. Pepper hopped beside him, eyes wide with anticipation. "It's a riddle," Peter murmured. "Not alive, but grows, needs air. Water kills. A fire." Pixie swayed happily. "Indeed, fire you have named. Proceed with caution, and may your hearts remain aflame with courage." With Pixie blessing, Peter and Pepper continued deeper into the forest, armed with new wisdom and determination. As they ventured further, the forest seemed to come alive with whispers and rustling leaves. Every step they took echoed with the sounds of unseen creatures. The trees themselves seemed to watch, their branches creaking and swaying as if communicating silently. Suddenly, a trio of small, luminous creatures darted across their path, leaving trails of sparkling light in their wake. They were no larger than birds, with wings that shimmered in the dappled forest light. "What are those?" Peter asked, awestruck. "Forest sprites," Pepper explained. "They are mischievous but generally harmless. They can guide or mislead travelers, depending on their mood." The sprites giggled, flitting around Peter and Pepper. One sprite, with wings of deep blue, hovered in front of Peter and spoke in a high-pitched voice. "Are you lost, brave traveler? Or do you seek something hidden?" "We seek the way to defeat the dark dragon Saphire," Peter replied. The sprite's eyes twinkled. "Ah, a noble quest indeed. Follow the path that twists and turns, where the sun's light gently burns. The key you seek is within your heart. True courage will set you apart." With that cryptic advice, the sprites vanished into the forest, their laughter echoing like distant bells. Peter and Pepper pressed on, feeling a mixture of encouragement and trepidation. Following the sprite's cryptic advice, Peter and Pepper stayed alert, for signs of the hidden path. They noticed subtle changes in their surroundings. The trees grew taller, their bark smoother, and the underbrush less dense. Sunlight filtered through the leaves in a gentle, almost magical way. There, Pepper pointed with his paw. That tree with the twisted trunk. It's a marker. Peter approached the tree, running his fingers over the gnarled bark. A hidden path must be nearby. They scoured the area, looking for clues. Peter's eyes landed on a patch of moss that seemed to shimmer under the sunlight. He pushed it aside, revealing a narrow trail leading deeper into the forest. "This must be it," Peter said, feeling a surge of excitement. The path was narrow and winding, barely visible beneath the thick canopy. As they walked, the forest grew quieter, the air filled with a sense of anticipation. They knew they were getting closer to their goal. Suddenly, they encountered a barrier of thick, thorny vines blocking their way. Pepper twitched his nose. "This is another test. We need to figure out how to get past it." Peter examined the vines, looking for a way through. Maybe there's a riddle here, like with orange peel. He noticed a small carved stone at the base of the vines. Inscribed on it were the words, "Only those who show true courage can pass." Peter took a deep breath and stepped forward, his heart pounding. The vines slowly parted, allowing them to pass through. Chapter 3. The Ascent to Evil Mountain. Peter and Pepper emerged from the enchanted forest, the towering peak of Evil Mountain looming ahead. The mountain was shrouded in dark clouds, its jagged cliffs casting long shadows over the land. Peter felt a chill run down his spine as he stared up at the formidable sight. "We've come this far," Peter said, more to himself than to Pepper. "We can't turn back now." Pepper nodded. "Remember, Peter, true courage lies in the heart. We'll face many challenges, but together we can overcome them." The path up the mountain was steep and treacherous, winding its way through rocky terrain and narrow ledges. Pepper carefully navigated the climb, the air growing colder and thinner with each step. Broomstick, the speedy horse, was with them, his sure-footedness a great help on the rugged path. As they ascended, they encountered gusts of icy wind that threatened to knock them off balance. Peter gripped his walking stick tightly, using it to steady himself. He glanced at Pepper, who was hopping alongside him with surprising agility for a rabbit. "We need to find shelter soon," Peter said, noticing the darkening sky. "A storm is coming." Pepper nodded in agreement. "There's a cave not far from here. It will provide us with some protection." With renewed determination, they pressed on, the path becoming even more challenging as they neared the cave. As they approached the cave, they saw a figure standing at the entrance. It was a tall, slender person, wearing a golden cloak that shimmered even in the dim light. Peter recognized the figure from stories his father used to tell. "Astra, the gold cloak wizard," Peter whispered in awe. Astra smiled warmly. "Greetings, travelers. I have been expecting you." Peter stepped forward. "You know about our quest to defeat Saphire?" Astra nodded. "Indeed. Your father and I once fought against the darkness together. I am here to guide you on your journey." Astra led them into the cave, which was spacious and warm, with a small fire crackling in the center. The walls were adorned with glowing crystals that cast a gentle light around the space. "Rest here for the night," Astra said. "You will need your strength for the challenges ahead." Peter and Pepper settled by the fire, grateful for the warmth and shelter. Astra sat across from them, her golden cloak shimmering in the firelight. "Saphire is a formidable foe," Astra began, but she can be defeated with the right strategy and courage. I will teach you some spells and give you tools to aid you in your battle." Peter listened intently as Astra explained the spells, feeling a sense of hope and confidence growing within him. With Astra's guidance, he felt more prepared to face the dark dragon. The next morning, Astra led Peter and Pepper out of the cave and continued their ascent. The path grew even steeper and more perilous, with loose rocks and narrow ledges testing their resolve at every turn. Astra's presence was a comforting beacon, her golden cloak standing out against the harsh landscape. As they climbed, they encountered various natural hazards. At one point, a rock slide barreled down the mountain towards them. Broomstick speed allowed him to dodge the falling rocks, while Peter and Pepper used their agility to find safe spots to hide until the danger passed. "Keep your focus," Astra advised. "The mountain tests not just your strength, but your determination." They pressed on, facing icy winds that seemed to cut through their clothes, and a sudden fierce snowstorm that reduced visibility to nearly zero. Astra used her magic to create a protective barrier around them, shielding them from the worst of the storm. "This mountain is relentless," Peter said, his voice muffled by the wind. Pepper nodded. "But we can't give up now. We're getting closer to Saphire." After hours of grueling climbing, they reached a plateau where the storm finally abated. They took a moment to rest, catching their breath and regaining their strength. "We're almost there," Astra said, pointing to a dark cave entrance further up the mountain. "Sapphire's lair lies within." With renewed determination, they approached the dark cave entrance. The air grew colder, and an eerie silence settled over them. Peter felt a shiver run down his spine as they stepped inside. The cave was vast and filled with strange glowing crystals that cast an otherworldly light. The walls were adorned with ancient carvings depicting battles and heroes of the past. Peter recognized some of the symbols from the stories his father used to tell. "This place is incredible," Peter whispered. Astra nodded. "These carvings tell the story of those who have faced Saphire before. Your father was among them. Learn from their legacy." As they ventured deeper into the cave, they discovered a hidden chamber filled with treasures and artifacts. Among them was a large, intricately designed mirror. Astra approached it, her reflection shimmering in the glass. "This mirror holds the key to Sapphire's defeat," Astra explained. "It reveals the true nature of one's heart. Use it wisely." Peter stared at his reflection, feeling a sense of purpose. They continued through the cave, following a winding path that led to a massive, ornate door. Astra placed her hand on the door, and it slowly creaked open, revealing a vast, dark chamber beyond. "Saphire awaits," Astra said, her voice steady. "Prepare yourselves." As they entered the dark chamber, the temperature dropped even further, and an ominous presence filled the air. Peter felt his heart race with a mix of fear and determination. He knew that this was the final stretch, the moment they had been preparing for. Suddenly they heard a deep, rumbling growl. The shadows shifted, and from the darkness emerged Saphire, the dark dragon. Her scales were as black as night, and her eyes glowed with a malevolent light. She towered over them, her wings spread wide, and her claws gleaming. "So, the brave adventurers have finally arrived," Saphire hissed, her voice echoing through the chamber. "Do you truly believe you can defeat me?" Peter stepped forward, his grip on his walking stick tightening. "We won't let you bring darkness to our world, Saphire. We're here to stop you." Saphire laughed a chilling sound that sent shivers down Peter's spine. Many have tried and failed. What makes you think you can succeed? Astra stepped beside Peter, her golden cloak glowing brightly, because they have the courage and strength of their ancestors, and because they have each other. With a roar, Saphire lunged towards them, her claws slashing through the air. Peter and Pepper dodged to the side, while Astra cast a protective spell that deflected the dragon's attack. The battle had begun. Peter knew they had to work together to defeat Saphire. With Astra's magic, Pepper's agility, and his own determination, they faced the dark dragon head-on, ready to end her reign of terror. Chapter 4. Secrets of the Past. As the battle with Saphire raged on, Astra cast a spell to temporarily blind the dragon, giving Peter and Pepper a moment to regroup. "We need to find a way to weaken her," Peter shouted over the din of the fight. Astra nodded. The carvings in the cave spoke of a hidden power within this mountain, a relic that can strip Saphire of her strength. We must find it. With Saphire shortly disoriented, Peter and Pepper dashed deeper into the cave, guided by the faint glow of the crystals. They soon stumbled upon a hidden alcove filled with ancient scrolls and artifacts. Peter's eyes were drawn to a large, ornate chest in the center of the room. "This must be it," Peter said, opening the chest to reveal a glowing amulet. "The power to defeat Saphire." Pepper's eyes widened. "That's the Amulet of Light. It can counter Saphire's dark magic, but you must wear it, Peter. Only someone with a pure heart can wield its power." Peter took the amulet and fastened it around his neck, feeling a surge of warmth and energy coursing through him. With the amulet's power, they had a fighting chance against Saphire. Lisa's cameo. As they prepared to return to the battle, the glow from the amulet intensified, casting a soft light that coalesced into the image of a woman. Peter recognized her immediately. It was his mother, Lisa. "Peter," she said, her voice gentle and filled with love. "You are stronger than you know. Your father believed in you, and so do I. Use the amulet wisely and trust in your friends." Tears filled Peter's eyes. "Mom, I miss you. I wish you were here." Lisa smiled, her form shimmering. "I am always with you, my dear, in your heart and in your courage. Now go and fulfill your destiny." The vision faded, but Peter felt a renewed sense of purpose. He turned to Pepper, determination etched on his face. "Let's go finish this." Returning to the main chamber, they found Astra holding off Saphire with a powerful barrier spell. The dragon's fury was palpable, her attacks relentless. "Astra, we found the Amulet of Light," Peter shouted. Astra's eyes widened with hope. "Good. Use it to break her defenses. The amulet's light can pierce her dark magic." Peter stepped forward, holding the amulet high. Its light grew brighter, illuminating the entire chamber. Saphire hissed in pain, recoiling from the brilliance. Astra joined Peter, her voice calm but firm. Saphire's power comes from the darkness within her heart. The amulet can purify that darkness, but it will require all of our strength and courage and determination. He knew that the final confrontation with Saphire was near, and he was ready to face it. Together, Peter, Pepper, and Astra focused their energy on the amulet. Its light intensified, creating a beam that struck Saphire directly in her chest. The dragon roared in agony, her dark scales beginning to crack and splinter. As Saphire writhed in pain, the ground beneath them trembled. The walls of the chamber began to crumble, revealing a hidden sanctum filled with ancient symbols and glowing runes. This was the heart of the mountain, the source of Saphire's power. "We need to lure her into the sanctum," Astra said. "The magic here will amplify the amulet's power and seal Sapphire's fate. Peter nodded, stepping into the sanctum. "Come on, Saphire. Face us in the heart of the mountain." Blinded by rage and pain, Saphire charged at them, her massive form barely fitting through the entrance to the sanctum. Once inside, the runes and symbols began to glow brighter, responding to the presence of the amulet. Peter felt the power of the mountain flow through him, merging with the amulet's light. "This is for my father, and for everyone you've hurt," he shouted, directing the full force of the amulet's power at Saphire. The dragon's roars filled the sanctum as the light engulfed her, purging the darkness from her heart. With a final ear-splitting scream, Saphire collapsed, her form dissolving into a cloud of shimmering dust. As the dust settled, Peter felt a profound sense of relief. Saphire was defeated, and the mountain's dark influence was lifted. The glow of the amulet began to fade, its purpose fulfilled. Astra approached Peter, placing a hand on his shoulder. "You have done well, Peter. Your courage and determination have saved us all." Peter looked around the sanctum, taking in the ancient symbols and runes. It wasn't just me. I had help from my friends and from my family. Pepper nodded, his eyes shining with pride. "You truly are your father's son, Peter. He would be proud of you." As they made their way out of the sanctum, the mountain itself seemed to come alive with light, the dark clouds dissipating and the air growing warmer. The path back down the mountain was clear and safe, a testament to the victory they had achieved. With the darkness lifted, Peter felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. He knew that his father's legacy had been honored and that he had made his family proud. As they descended the mountain, he looked forward to returning to Willow Brook, where a new chapter of his life awaited. Chapter 5. Return and Reflection. Peter, Pepper, and their allies made their way down Evil Mountain, the weight of their victory mingling with the sorrow of Astra's sacrifice. The path, which had once been treacherous, now felt almost welcoming under the bright sunlight. The air was warmer, and the oppressive feeling of darkness had vanished, replaced by a sense of peace and renewal. As they descended, Peter couldn't help but reflect on the journey. Every step they took brought back memories of the challenges they had faced and the friends they had made along the way. Broomstick trotted beside them, his energy still boundless, even after the long and grueling adventure. Pepper, ever the faithful companion, hopped alongside Peter. "You did well, Peter. Astra would be proud of you." Peter nodded, his eyes filled with a mixture of pride and sadness. "We couldn't have done it without her. She gave everything to make sure we could defeat Saphire." The group paused at a scenic overlook, taking in the breathtaking view of Willow Brook below. The village looked peaceful and inviting, a stark contrast to the dark and dangerous mountain they had just conquered. Athena perched on a nearby rock, her keen eyes scanning the horizon. "Your bravery and determination have brought light back to this land. It is a victory worth celebrating." Peter smiled, feeling a sense of accomplishment wash over him. "Let's go home." As they approached Willow Brook, the village came alive with excitement. The villagers had sensed the change in the air and gathered to welcome their returning heroes. Children ran ahead, eager to catch a glimpse of Peter and his companions. "Peter's back," one of them shouted, and soon the entire village was buzzing with anticipation. Peter, Pepper, and their allies entered the village to a chorus of cheers and applause. The villagers had decorated the square with flowers and banners, creating a festive atmosphere. The grand oak tree stood tall, its branches swaying gently in the breeze as if welcoming them home. Lisa rushed forward, tears of joy streaming down her face. "Peter, you did it. You saved us all." Peter embraced his mother, feeling a wave of relief and happiness. "We couldn't have done it without Astra. She sacrificed herself to protect us." Lisa nodded, her expression solemn but proud. Astra was a true hero. Her legacy will live on in all of us. The villagers gathered around, eager to hear the tale of their adventure. Peter recounted their journey, from the enchanted forest to the final battle with Saphire. He spoke of Astra's courage and the unexpected allies who had helped them along the way. As night fell, the village celebrated with a grand feast. There was music, dancing, and laughter as the villagers honored their heroes and remembered those who had sacrificed everything for their victory. With Saphire defeated and the darkness lifted, life in Willow Brook began to return to normal. The villagers resumed their daily routines, but there was a renewed sense of hope and unity. The memory of their adventure remained fresh, a reminder of what they had overcome together. Peter found himself adjusting to the quiet life of the village once more. He helped his mother with chores, tended to the garden, and spent time with Broomstick and Pepper. The amulet, now a treasured keepsake, hung in a place of honor in their cottage. One afternoon, Peter visited the enchanted forest. He found Pixie swaying gently, humming a tune. The high mushroom greeted him with a riddle. What begins and has no end, and is the key to every door? Peter smiled, answering without hesitation. Friendship. Pixie chuckled. Very good, Peter. You have learned much on your journey. Peter nodded. I owe a lot to the friends I've made and the lessons we've learned together. As Peter walked through the forest, he reflected on the future. The adventure had changed him, made him stronger and more confident. He knew that while the immediate danger was gone, the world was full of mysteries and challenges waiting to be discovered. What's next for us, Pepper? Peter asked, looking at his magical companion. Pepper twitched his nose. Whatever it is, we'll face it together. Chapter 6. Plans for the Future. Back in Willow Brook, Peter and his friends gathered to discuss their next steps. The village square, now a place of celebration and planning, buzzed with activity as the villagers contributed ideas for rebuilding and strengthening their community. Athena perched on a low branch of the grand oak tree, her sharp eyes watching over the proceedings. With Saphire gone, we have an opportunity to bring lasting peace to this land. We must remain vigilant and united. Peter nodded in agreement. We can start by sharing the knowledge we've gained from our adventure. The secrets of the enchanted forest, the wisdom of Astra, and the courage it takes to face the unknown. Lisa joined the discussion, her presence a calming influence. We should also remember to honor those who sacrificed for our safety. Astra's memory should be preserved, and her teachings passed down to future generations. The villagers nodded their resolve clear. Plans were made to create a memorial for Astra and to establish a school where the young could learn about magic, courage, and the importance of unity. Peter felt a sense of purpose as he looked around at his friends and family. This is just the beginning. There's so much more we can do to make our world a better place. As the sun set over Willow Brook, casting a golden glow over the village, Peter sat by the edge of the forest, reflecting on all that had happened. He thought about his father, Astra, and the journey that had brought him here. The amulet around his neck seemed to pulse with a gentle warmth, a reminder of the light that guided him. Pepper hopped onto his lap, looking up at him with wise eyes. You've come a long way, Peter. This adventure has shaped you into a true hero. Peter smiled. stroking Pepper's soft fur. "I couldn't have done it without you and all our friends. We've shown that together we can overcome anything." As they sat in comfortable silence, Peter felt a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. He knew that the future held many unknowns, but he also knew that he was ready to face them, surrounded by the love and support of his family and friends. "Whatever comes next," Peter said softly, "we'll be ready. We've got each other, and that's all we need." The stars began to twinkle overhead, the first signs of a new night filled with possibilities. Peter looked up at the sky, feeling a connection to the heroes of the past and the promise of adventures yet to come. The end.